The sound of the slap was louder than before. Heart monitor. Dr. Preston dies. The hospital's golden child, not only she scolded the young nurse. He lowered his hands. On her. He ran his fingers through her hair. She was teasing, I know you. They took out the trash. The entire emergency room froze. I'm waiting for the quiet, shy nurse to scream. They were waiting to beg her. Sorry, but they didn't know. The woman who was there in large size, she wasn't just a blue scrubs nurse. Major Harper Bennett, a brave warrior veteran of the 160th SAR, he underwent surgery on Burning's back. Black Hawks. Dr. Preston, he made the biggest mistake of his time. Life. The Grace Memorial held in Seattle was a complete failure. Just a different kind. Instead there were mortar shells and explosive ordnance, heart failure, overdose victims, and a whale that constantly dives ambulance sirens. Harper Bennett moving. Through the chaos of the emergency room, a silence that disturbs people. She was 32 years old, even though her eyes looked 100 years old. They worked for 3 people in the hospital. She spoke for months and during that time under 50 words for her colleagues. She also worked hard. The pan. She filled it with salt water. She also took on night shifts. None of the senior nurses wanted it. For the workers, it was a worthless journey. A nurse from anywhere with an unstable CV and the behavior that she was fear of the shadow. Bennett, move. The scream came from Dr. Silas Preston. Preston was a hoof. Traumatic surgery. He was 45 years young, attractive inside. He sadly knows, and I had an ego that didn't quite reach me. The double doors of the horror room. It came from old money, from Preston, Connecticut, and treated the hospital. Employees such as his personal servants. Harper didn't waver in his voice. I'm just cleaning in the oven. Equipment and walking after injury bay 4, where Preston was working on. Cut to a drunk college student. You're late, Preston joked, aren't you? He looked up from his work and looked at me. This was 30 seconds ago. Do you know how? Bennett, how much is my time worth? Sorry, doctor, Harper said. Hair. The voice was low, flat, and devoid of feeling. Preston was joking. Feeling. It doesn't save lives. It makes you competent. Try it. To take. He caught a robbery. From the tray, deliberately rubbing them. He raises his hand to her, then wipes off his glove. Like a sticker on his clothes. Other nurses gathered together nursing station, with mixed monitoring compassion and relief. The relief she has. Weren't you in the desert today? He's in a good mood, Chloe whispered, young man. A nurse painted bright pink. His wallet may have been damaged. Or maybe a woman learned about the pharmaceutical company representative, David Agutamitim, the main charge nurse. He sighed as he looked at Harper. Retreating into the shadows of the stock market closet. I don't know how Bennett understood it. This one has no back. When he spoke to me like this, I used to report to the Human Resources Department. Chloe replied that manpower wouldn't affect him. Dad is on the ship. Bennett is here now. Easy Hunter. She's like a ghost. I asked. Where did she move from? Yesterday, she only looked at me. Until I leave. In the closet, Harper Bennett he rests his forehead against the cold metal made from the shelf section. Breathe in for 4 hours, hold your breath for 4 hours. Breathe out. 4. Her hands were motionless. They were always stable. They were steadfast in their faith. Valley when an RPG hits her convos. They were steadfast whenever she needed them. Treat the wound on the chief's chest. Officer Captain Miller, when taking it, was fired from a line 300 meters away. I wasn't afraid of someone like Silas Preston. Men like him were gentle. The air conditioner broke down when it was turned off. Outside. Harper has endured those things. Preston acts catatonic. Her long sleeves are adjusted. Underwear. She's wearing them too. The scorching heat of the emergency room. Signs of damage on her left arm and the tattoo on her right wrist. Night Scammers Medal, 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. She wasn't here for honor. She was here to rejoin, to learn how to be civilian again. The Army. After being discharged from treatment, the incident in Syria, a hidden document, the extraction mission went wrong. She was physically ready for service, but psychologists said she needed time in her career. Low stress area. So, scrub floors and let a proud surgeon treat. She was a part of this as a servant. Mission. Intervene. Do not participate. How? Bennett says Preston is screaming and dying. Team. Get out of here. We're leaving. Input multimeter. Harper opened his eyes. Steel. She returned to her vision. She saw him. He threw down the rack and returned to the fight. The sliding doors of the emergency room opened. Paramedics rushed in and rescued 2 people. Rocks surrounded by waves activity, air dry immediately. Copper blood and rain. Talk to me. Preston shouted and entered the center stage. He puffs out his chest. Male, about 50 years old. Multiple gunshot wounds to the chest and stomach, the chief physician's assistant shouted. Noise. Beep is down 70/40. Heartbeat, we lost the heartbeat twice. Stop me. A little peace, Preston ordered. David, take a line. Chloe, take a line. Blood bank on the phone. Bennett. Him. He rolled his eyes viciously. The adrenaline he craved. You're in. Suck it. Don't break it. Harper moved. At the headboard location. She looked at the patient. He, a big man made of gray cloth, like a tank top, beard and tactical jacket opened by paramedics. She saw a tattoo under the blood. The shoulder, a winged dagger. His heart didn't beat much. Special Forces. She saw her face. It was swollen and bruised, but he understood the structure. He was the main person. Sergeant Knox. Fort Knox. He was the training officer at Fort Bragg about 10 years ago. It fell, David shouted. VB was driving, Preston, he shouted. Charge it up to 200. Part it turned into controlled chaos. Harper, hold the suction catheter, clean it. Effectiveness in practicing respiratory techniques. She noticed something Preston had missed. The blood just didn't pool. Bubbles. Tension pneumothorax. Her thoughts. It was registered immediately. The lungs, he fell and put pressure on him. Darling. It's obvious, Preston shouted. The arrows hit Knox's chest. His body was shaking. I'm still in good physical condition, David said. It's going down to 300. Doctor. Harper's voice broke her heart. It was noisy. He couldn't hear a whisper. It is often used. It was stronger. Breathing, there are no voices on the right. His attention was distracted. It won't work to scare him. He has. Unscrew the needle now. The room fell silent for a short moment. Second. Preston looked at him, his face pale. Angrily. Excuse me. Is he a doctor? Bennett. Have you gone to medical school or not yet? Do you get your diploma from a cereal box? Look at the jugular vein. Harper. He insisted and went to the patient. If you don't relax your neck and chest, he will die within 30 seconds. Shut up, Preston shouted. You are a surgeon who is attending here. You are a nurse. You change your bedclothes and lock yourself in. Mouth. Press up to 360. Clearly. It shocked Knox again. Nothing. Flatline. Honey. Preston said. He is driving on the broken down car. He is gone. Listen. No, Harper said. But she didn't know. I think she didn't count. Results. She moved. She left. Find the unit of absorption and 14 measurements. Angiocatheter needle from an open reservoir try. What do you think you're doing? Preston did it for him, locked the patient up. Move, Harper said. Her eyes were cold, dark caverns. Leave him. Get out of my horrible room, Preston shouted. You're fired. Get out. He said. Heart rate, but pressure, kill him, Harper said, approaching him. I won't let it pass me by. It dies because of your own ego. Crucial point. Dr. Silas Preston, A person who has never said no in their life. He has been broken his whole life. He stretched out his hand and Harper grabbed the back of her cleaning clothes. A hat with his fingers tangled in her hair. He threw his head back forcefully. Power. I said it. Preston whispered, his face flushed. The thumb that comes out of the hair is down, the saliva that comes out of his lips. Know your place, you worthless garbage. The movement's rebellion sent Harper. She was staggering. She hit the iron cabinet work with loud noise, needles. He fell to the floor. The entire emergency room. He stopped. The doctors froze him in the middle of the stitches. The nurses the fallen grafts. It was quiet. Absolutely not. That's how workers' rebellion was. It's rare. But for a surgeon who cares about that. Physically assaulting a nurse in the middle of the code, it was unprecedented. Preston. He stood there, his chest heaving, his face twitching. It turned into a moan. He felt a strong emotion. I felt like a god of discipline. A disobedient child. Harper was expected to work. He held back the tears. He held on. To run out of the room crying, it allowed the patient to declare his death, and it continues throughout the day. Harper slowly lowered her head. She leaned over and touched her buttocks. She shook her head from where he had pulled her hair. She adjusted her cleaning hat. When she looked, the fear that everyone was waiting for, high up, she wasn't there. She was the quiet nurse. It was gone. In its place was something else. Completely. Her posture changed, her shoulders changed. Square, legs slightly spread out, shoulder width, fighting stance. You shouldn't have done that, Harper said. She said. Her voice was only a whisper, but it carried that weight. The hairs on the back of David's neck stand up. Calm down, Preston shouted, even though the sound has changed a little. Get this woman out of my hospital. David. Harper said without looking up. Preston. Please, my 10-year-old son and a kiss. Bush star. Bennett, appointment. David. He stuttered, he was scared. He was the boss. Harper didn't wait. She moved. But this she didn't go as a nurse. She went moving with explosive speed. Snake. Preston tried to hold it in his hand. Again. I told you. Harper didn't do it. She shouldn't hit. How? Preston took over, she alone. Caught in his trap, the wrist is held in one hand and applied during pressure on the radial nerve. His leg was wiped out. It happened very quickly. The security camera will be recording it. It should be played in slow motion later. To understand this. Preston stood still for a while. Then he fell face down on the linoleum. On the floor, his hands clasped behind his back. On the corner that makes you scream, high-frequency pain. Silence, Harper, there was no question. An order given to an official, the enemy warrior. She released it, he kicked him in the body with a scream, and she went to the patient. She was sick. Hot injection. David, take my time, she said softly. The second intercostal space is located at Knox's chest. She inserted the needle. Sound under air pressure. The whole box was felt. Quiet room. The control on the wall. Knock once, knock twice. Beep, beep, beep. Sinus rhythm. The heart was beating. Again. Harper looked at Preston, the one who fought on his knees. His wrist was clenched, his face was bruised. In humiliation and shock. It's him. He's alive, Harper said, taking off his clothes. Glove. You, doctor, are relieved. It's a duty of duty. Preston rolled his eyes. Swelling. I am free from work. I am Surgeon General. You've done it. I'll do it. I will take you under control. I will destroy you. Do you know who I am? Harper looked at him. She was dead in her eyes. She grabbed a corner of her hair. She took off her long-sleeved shirt and slowly he lifted it up and exposed its wounds, the cordy tendine muscle and a special tattoo on the wrist. I know who you are, Preston. You responsibility. She turned to the head nurse who had been asked. Call the police and call the general. Holloway at the Pentagon. Tell the Phantom. It's stuck. The general. Who is he? David asked, raising his jaw. He hung up the phone. Just make the call. Harper said this and turned to steady himself. Her former sergeant. And keep it. Get the damned devil away from my patient. Seattle police arrived. The department was not secret. 2 uniformed officers, then followed the hospital, engulfed in panic. Administrator, driven by a pair emergency doors. Dr. Silas Preston is here. I leaned on their sight, he was holding an ice pack in his hand. Restabilize and fear with a cold and calculated narrative. That's it, said Preston, and after a while Harper's trembling finger. Harper Zone 1 is standing and watching in a terrible situation. Master Sergeant Knox's heart monitor. The patient was stable, his chest was up. And it falls in order, thank you. The tube she inserted. She didn't try. She didn't try to run. She didn't try to hide. She stood with her hands clasped behind her back. I was waiting for the parade break. Officer. Preston said, his voice louder than his voice. This woman is a victim. Unstable. She ignored direct medical orders. An order that endangers the patient's life. And when I tried to intervene, she physically attacked me. He broke my wrist. I want to file a complaint. Immediately. The senior officer, a man. Sergeant Brady, known as Sergeant, looked at Harper. She was not seen as a threat. She looked small in her loose clothes, without knowing her face. Mrs. Brady approached her, shook her hand. Land near the cover. The patient. Harper turned slowly. The patient is in stable condition, Sergeant, but he needs transport to intensive care. His vital signs. But pneumonia is important. Follow up. I did not request a medical examination. Commentary, Brady hacked, influenced the presence of the chief surgeon. Back around, with his hands behind his back, Harper she obeyed. She didn't object when it cooled down. The metal of the suitcases clanged all around her wrists. His voice is sharp and finally, stop the noise. Emergency workers. You can't do this, David. The head nurse took a step forward, a trembling voice. She heard that man's voice. Life. Preston allows. David, Preston shouted and rolled his eyes. It's cramped in places. Unless you want to. Looking for a job in veterinary medicine, a clinic in Alaska. I recommend that you close the clinic. Oh, this is a police matter now. David froze. He looked at Harper, his eyes that apologized to him cowardice. Harper is about to confirm. Invisible head bow. Sit down. He said, it's not your fight. Get him out of here, Preston said contemptuously. And make sure the press doesn't see it. I don't want this hospital. Related to mental illness. Police escort Harper into the hallway. The emergency room was crowded, and the atmosphere was tense. With tension. Patients on stretchers, they watched in silence. The doctors avoided eye contact. But the nurses, those they cleaned the sheets, the vomit, and dead hands. They looked at Harper. With a new and strange respect. They saw the damage. They knew the truth. As soon as they reached the exit, someone entered. Custom charcoal suit explodes. Administrative doors were Sterling Preston, president the hospital board, and Silas' father. There was a silver-haired shark known as a man. To bury and destroy accusations profession. Silas Sterling shouted. Police, I received your message. Is it true? Did the nurse attack her? Dad, she's crazy. Silas cried and beat the professional. She immediately appeared before me. She was about to break me. Arm surgery. Sterling is back. He looked at Harper. His eyes were like snow. Went to her and won. Personal space, looking down with his nose. You made a big mistake, buddy. The woman. Sterling whispered. I assure you. I will never work in the healthcare sector again. They will charge you for every penny you earn. Do it. Until I'm done with you, you will be lucky if you get a job as a livestock worker. Street. Harper looked at her. She didn't blink. She wasn't afraid. He has analyzed it. High blood pressure, maybe on beta blockers, narcissist. Character traits, aggressive behavior is innate. That's right, it's not a skill. The threat level is low. Go ahead, Sergeant. Brady said as he gently pushed Harper away. In the future, when you enter, Harper confessed in the back of the police car. When I look back at myself just once, hospital. She saw Silas Preston standing there. On the ambulance seat, smiling. He put his father's arm around his shoulder. They thought they had won. It was about a lawsuit or dismissal. Harper bowed his head against the wire. The window of the police car. He closed his eyes and began to count. 1 minute after I called with Holloway. The extraction team must begin work. The fight for Harper Bennett is not over yet. He easily changed the battlefields. The interrogation room on the 4th floor of the settlement was a pale box filled with gray ash. Blocks and flashing fluorescent light, a light that buzzes like a dead fly. Harper sat down on a metal chair, and we met by the hand. She was handcuffed and held to the table. There she was. For 2 hours. Detective Reed sat down for a while. She was a tired man with coffee. The stain on the tie and its characteristics he indicated that he had seen it all. He threw it away. A file on the desk. Harper Bennett. Reed leaned back. No warning. The nursing license is clean, however. Before that, he was only 3 months old. Nothing. Ghost. Harper said nothing. I saw a spot on the wall above. His left shoulder. Here, Harper, Reed breathed as he tried to hear. Good policing. Dr. Preston a powerful man. His father in action. They will inherit this city. Assault charges. He who says it is a deadly weapon. Harper's eyes moved to Reed. I didn't use a scalpel on him. I wish I had one. He didn't stop using a knife. Reed stopped, startled by the flat sound, realistic broadcast. Correct. Okay, he says. You have intimidated the witnesses. I'm afraid to speak. If you give me your side of history, maybe we can reduce it to one cream. Anger management in community service. Me. I need my phone call. Harper said, can you? Call a lawyer, Reed said. But public opinion. The defender will have no chance to counterattack. Preston family law team. I'm coming to ask for blood. I don't need a lawyer. Harper said, I need to make a phone call. Reed groaned and hung up the landline. Crossed the table. Make it quick. Harper. She picked up the receiver. She didn't dial the number. Local number. Serial number dialed. As if Reed didn't know him well. Numbers. This is Sierra 709 Inner. Harper spoke on the phone, her voice switched to command mode. Reed has never heard of a suspect. Previously. Code Black. Seattle PD Area District 4. The situation in which he was arrested. I am. She is patient. She hangs up the phone. Reed looks at her. She asked. What was that? Who did you call? You might want to drink coffee, Detective Harper spoke calmly. It's gonna be a long night. Before Reed he could have answered, he could have opened the door. The interrogation room was opened. But there was no other police officer. There was a lawyer inside. An overpriced 3-piece suit. Reed's annual salary. Charles Whitlock, Preston's family lawyer. But he looked at Reed. He looked at Harper. A mixture of admiration and contempt. Mrs. Bennett, said Whitlock, and one leather bag on the table. It's me. Look, I'm going to give you a way out, and I'm going to give you a deal. He pushed a document towards her. Sign this. Admitted that you have mental health problems. Rest, I apologize to Dr. Preston, and agrees with the immediate repeal your nursing license. In return, Preston hands over the criminal. Payment. You're leaving Seattle tonight, and we won't listen to you anymore. Harper looked at the newspaper. To surrender, to confess things about her. He didn't. She asked me if I didn't. Whitlock smiled. Guardian's display. Tooth. Then he goes to jail. Simple as that. That's it. The judges said it. We said it. Duh. You are nobody, Miss Bennett. There is a defect in the windshield. An expensive car. Harper Murray stylolapsis. Whitlock's his smile widened. She turned the pen with her fingers, habit. From the time she took control, from the time she was a spy. Wind power. You made breastfeeding easier for me. Permission, Harper said softly. But is this it? Did I check DD 214? Whitlock frowned. Who are you? Mine. Military discharge papers. Unimportant. Whitlock waved his hand. Whatever. He served in the army, peeled potatoes, driving trucks doesn't make any difference here. Boom. Heavy metal door. Police station waiting area opened enough power to shake the walls. What's going on out there? Reed stood up and raised his gun. Voices echoed in the hallway. No. The voices of the police. These voices were loud, deeper and more authoritative voices. Federal officer, stand by her. Stay away from her. Door. The door of the interrogation room. It is open. 2 people in total. Tactical weapon that holds carbines in the room, scanning the corners. Immediately, someone followed them. A crisp army green military uniform. 3 stars shone above him. Shoulder boards. Lieutenant General Holloway. Yurt's jaw he fell. He instinctively grabbed her hand. He put down the gun and raised his hands. Whitlock looked confused and upset. Excuse me, Whitlock shouted. That's it. Personal examination. You can do it. I came in here quickly. Do you know who my client is? General Holloway ignored his lawyer. Completely. Directly to Harper, still handcuffed table. The general, the man who was he commanded all theaters of war, he stood before them. He stood. Major, said Holloway, he turned his head to Harper. General. Harper replied. Take off these handcuffs. That one, Holloway ordered, looking at her. Walking stick. Now wait a minute, Whitlock took a step forward. Between them. She was arrested and charged with assault. Famous surgeon. You have no authority here. Holloway turned to Whitlock. The look he gave the lawyer this look. It is usually reserved for enemy insurgents. Territory of jurisdiction. Holloway's voice was low and dangerous. My son, this woman is a protected treasure. The United States government. The man she was attacked and nearly killed. Who is the decorated sergeant major? Currently under my protection. What about you? He stuck his finger into Whitlock's body. Expensive clothes. Federal medical examination abuse and neglect that affect level 1 operator. Medical errors. Whitlock is stirring. Open it up. Holloway he shouted at Red. Red was confused with him. They shake the keys, their hands shake as they open them. Handcuffs. Harper stood up and rubbed them. Her wrists. Are you hurt, Major? Asked Holloway. Negative, sir, asked Harper. I wasted my time. Okay, he said. We have a helicopter, Holloway said. Wait at the helipad. Knox is awake. He's looking for you. Harper turned to him. Whitlock, who was pale and sweaty. Close. Tell Preston that the bug has gone back. Grace Memorial Roof in Seattle. It has become a temporary place. Command post. 2 military police. Officers were waiting at the gate and a Black Hawk helicopter is parked inside. On the road, the rotors spin slowly. VIP suite on the top floor, usually reserved for wealthy donors, Master Sergeant Knox was lying in bed, surrounded by the most advanced devices above the danger. The Army they brought their medical team. Harper walked in, now wearing a clean shirt. Flight suit provided by Holloway Group. She looked like herself. Cleaning clothes. It always feels like a dress. Knox opened his eyes. His face looked fierce. The tubes in the nose, which are covered with a wound. Half of his body was gone, but he was alive. He saw Harper, and a small smile spread his beard. Ghost, he scratched. I thought I saw it. You. I thought I was dead, and so were you. The angel of death who comes to take him away. Joe Soth, the Harper, his hand. Your lung was damaged. The local butcher is about to burn your heart, trying to rock the rhythm that isn't there. There. The surgeon. Knox asked, coughing. A little. Be careful, Harper said. General Holloway stood by the window. A view of the city skyline. Not exactly, Major. We have a problem, Harper returned. Sir Sterling Preston will not back down, Holloway spoke angrily. He called inside. Supporters, senators, governors. He is. You relate this story to what you are. A disillusioned and disintegrating soldier with PTSD. He attacked the doctor. He went to press after an hour. Harper's jaw. He's arrested. Leave him. That's not it. It's easy, Holloway said. If you dig too much. In depth, he can learn about operations. Cinder, a mission sent to Syria. The unit went cold. The reason was Operation Cinder. Harper left the service. Classified mines where things where they are wrong, very wrong. Civilians died due to poor information provided on the CIA's part, but the damage was almost complete. In the case of Harper's room. This if edited, buried and published. I'll expose it, Harper said slowly. The team slides through the mud. The families that fell. Exactly. There's Holloway, Sterling Preston. Threatened to release anonymous information. You said you were not honest. If we don't surrender, we will be accused of war crimes. Listen to civil authorities and I apologize publicly. He hugs me. A prisoner of fame who saved his son ego. Harper understood. He said. War. Knox groaned from his bed. So we how? Harper asked. We can't. Silence without a civilian billionaire. This will cause a national incident. We will not do it. Calm down, said Holloway. A devilish smile appeared on his face. We let him speak and then we will bury him with him. True. Holloway threw a tablet at him. Harper. While you're in the cell, my intelligence officers did not do much. At the same time, Dr. Silas Preston dealt his father's hospital administration. This apparently, your incident wasn't the first. Silas made his first mistake. Harper erased it. Through the files. Her eyes opened. Case 402, death penalty, was decided out of court. Court. Accounting agreement signed. Case 519, cutting a wrongful party settled out of court. Charged with 660 overdose. The medication error was removed from the data. There were dozens. Corpses and silent money. Silas Preston. He wasn't just arrogant. He was incompetent. And dangerous. His father was too. Using hospital funds to pay victims for 10 years. This is a cemetery, Harper whispered. It's an influence, Holloway corrected. But we need more than files. A witness, someone inside who can reconfirm that this information is true. Sterling Preston ordered it. Coverages. Harper thought again about the emergency room, about his fear. In their eyes, like David the head nurse tried to speak, but he was very scared. And the young nurse Kinsley from Pink Cleanser. I know someone, Harper said. A nurse. Kinsley. She sees everything. She manages Digital Archives Casualty Department. She's a civilian. Holloway. He warned. When we approach, we will place she has a target on her back. She already has. Target, Harper said, standing up. Preston is terrorizing those workers. If we would give them a fighting chance, and they will. I want to. Will you go back there? She asked, hey. In the lion's den. I need you. Preston fired Kinsley before he was killed. Hosts, Harper said, unzipping her jacket. Flight suit. If he knows we're there. It will remove the files, backup them. I need it. Hard drive. You have 1 hour left. Preston press conference. Holloway. He looked at his watch. I can't send soldiers. In trouble at the civil hospital for stealing slippery. Illegal. Harper to the door. She looked back, her eyes wide. He shone with all his might. She received a call sign that said, Spirit. It's you. General, don't send soldiers. I'm the only one. The nurse finally takes it. Salary. Grace Memorial Cemetery in Seattle. It was a laboratory of roaring steam pipes. Generators and lymph nodes. A world away from trash lights the floors above, and he was Harper. Bennett is not a part. She took off her flight clothes and changed. This would have been for cleaning clothes. From the laundry cart next to the swing set loading dock. She passed by. Shadow, remove security cameras. She had them in her mouth for 3 months. Work. The target was an IT server. A room on the 4th floor, next to administrative offices. She was not there. Alone. General Holloway could not send, but he could give eyes to the bodies within. With 2 small earphones, helicopter reconnaissance officer, he brought it up. Major, be there. We recommend, we have 4 personal guarantees. Contractors move around the lobby. Sterling Preston have recruited strong players. They have recruited a strong player. They are not hospital security. They are armed. Copy, Harper in whispers, and in the press he himself is like a concrete pillar. A maintenance worker was passing by without noticing. Who is their replacement? Unknown, but it is established. In Sterling's profile, perhaps you are authorized to stop you in any way you can. If necessary, do not participate. It is damaged. Harper arrived at the service elevator. She used the stolen MasterCard. A careless sanitation worker weeks ago. The doors opened. She went inside. Pressed the button for the 4th floor. As the elevator went up, Harper looked at her. Implemented tool, found key in the cleaning machine. It wasn't weapons, but they will be at close range. You just broke your knee or sprained your wrist. Okay. The doors are open. The corridor was quiet, lined with plush. Doors of mahogany and walnut. Executive branch. Harper moved quickly. I reached the door marked as the server's registry. It was locked. She didn't have the code. Open the door, Kinsley, she whispered. He was hoping the nurse would come in. Silence. Kinsley, Bennett. I know. You're in there. I know about the black one. File. After a while, the electronic document. The door opened with a whisper. Nurse Kinsley stood there, her face pale, with red eyes from crying. Harper stepped inside and closed the door behind him. The room was cold, cooling fans are making noise and the blue light is flashing. Lights. You shouldn't have come back. Kinsley spoke, his voice trembling. They're looking for you. Sterling Preston has people cleaning the floors. You told them you had a gun. Yes. Harper patting his head. To be honest, where are the drivers? Kinsley pointed from a workstation. The progress bar appeared on the screen. Continuous removal 85%. Kinsley, you're destroying it from afar. He cried bitterly. Sterling finished the game in 10 minutes. Before. Ordered a system update. Of course the last 10 are completely removed years of surgical records. After being hit 100% confirmation of Silas mistakes, the deaths, the coverings, all gone. Can you stop? Harper asked. I try it. I'm locked out of the admin, the controls. Harper looked at the shelf. Servers. If we can't stop the software, we'll bring the tools, she said. The main server tower. Which disk does it contain? Surgical support. Triple forced breast the Kinsley. Harper shkoi te the release lever on the hard drive bay. Collect. Server room door. It didn't just open. It was lit. Hinges. 2 men dressed in black ran in. They weren't police. They mercenaries with thick necks and dead eyes. Some were holding stun guns. Others were with a loaded gun. The host. The man with the gun shouted. Kinsley screamed and jumped. Floor. Harper didn't freeze. She calculate. Distance, 10 meters. Risk, gun. The solution, practical violence. Don't shoot, Harper shouted, picking him up. My hands, I pretend to be scared. It's just me. The caretaker, the armed man, hesitated for a moment. Microcapacitor, confused by overalls. That was all Harper needed. The key was not thrown by chance. It spun in the air, an armed man directly on the bridge. His nose cried and he cut off his head. The gun on the roof actors. Harper jumped into the air forward. She saw the man with him. Shock him before lifting the stick. They hit the floor with force. He was strong, he may be a former military man, but he fought. Angrily. Harper struggled with physics. She blocked the ball, pushed her elbow in the solar plexus, and then wrapped her legs, formed a triangle around his neck. He drowned. He hit her and tried to strangle her. But Harper pushed her eyes away. Her thighs, they were like steel cables. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. The man's eyes rolled back. He was stunned. Harper rolled away from him and hurried to find the first man's weapon. She threw it. She kicked it across the room. Under the server shelves. She didn't want to do it either. To kill them. She just wanted to finish. Mission. She ran to the server. 98% cancellation. It's too late. Kinsley called. No, Harper. She gritted her teeth. Pull the handle and remove the hard drive bay. It was locked. Harper, look. Out. Harper is back. Silas Preston. He stood at the door and looked. Crazy, his tie loose, sweat pouring down his face. In his face. He was holding a gun. She cursed him. You ruined everything, Silas shouted. A gun shaking in his hand. My life, mine. Fame. I am a god in this city. You eat meat, Silas, Harper said, standing up. In front of Kinsley to protect him. And this, it's over. When I say it's over, it's over. Silas picked up the hammer. He let it go, Preston. The voice came from corridor. Silas turned. On foot. There was no police. There was no police. General Holloway. There were nurses. 20 from them. David, Chloe, pediatric nurses, oncology and intensive care. They are standing. Blocking the shoulder, the corridor. They were not armed. They carried intravenous lines, heavy oxygen tanks, and the scoreboards. They looked scared, but they didn't move. Get away from me. Road, Silas shouted, pointing his gun. I'm shooting. I swear to God. No, you won't, David said, stepping forward. Because there are cameras everywhere, Silas, we are all witnesses. You can't fire everyone. Silas hesitated. The weight of time, many people walking, his weak ego exploded against him. While Harper was distracted, she moved. She didn't attack him. He took it out again and took out the hard drive. With a shout from the server's desk, test, plastic seal breaks mechanism. The screen went dark. Silas, I turned to Harper, my eyes wide. Give it to me. Harper was holding the car. Up. Do you want it? Come and get it. Sirens were wailing outside. The real police. It arrived, not Sterling's. Salary. The regional police were called in. Holloway. Silas looked at the gun, then at Harper, then to the nurses. He dropped the gun. He knelt down and covered his face. In his arms, crying like a child. Harper walked past him. She took his leg. She went to David. Other nurses. Thank you for your support. She said in a soft voice. We will stay together. David smiled nervously. Trauma team, right? Harper shook her head. She looked at the hard drive in her hand. Let's follow the news. Seattle Grace Grand Atrium. The memorial was not a hospital entrance hall and more for the cathedral of corporate medicine. Polished, gleaming marble floors, the brightness of 100 camera flashes, and the air was filled with the voices of journalists. And the scent of expensive perfume. Sterling Preston stood by the mahogany floor. Stage, bathed in sharp white light, he looked at every inch of the media. It has a sad and troubled leader. A garment worth more than a nurse his annual salary, and his face has been fixed. A summer-style mask in practice. After the hospital board members stood by him, a row of gray-clothed people bowed their heads in a sign of sick leave. Hit. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, Sterling began, his voice softly, baritone and commander. Bowed. Microphone array, eyes, I'm scanning the room. It's in a serious state. My heart that must speak to the rebels the incident that occurred in this walls earlier today. We are proud of this. Because it is a sacred place of healing. But today, that sanctuary has been violated. He stood up for action and the reporters rushed inside, feeling anxious. Sterling continued, his voice strong. Former soldier, Harper, we appointed Bennett in good faith. Temporary nurse, has a serious health condition, psychological crisis. Suffering from untreated PTSD has infiltrated us. Trauma room, born a seriously ill patient and brutal and unexpected physical assault by my son, Chief Surgeon Silas Preston. Murmurs filled the crowd, and pens were filled. He was furiously scribbling on his notebooks. Sterling held them in the palm of his hand. He held his hand. He was busy drawing a masterpiece. Lies. We fully cooperate with authorities to handle this dangerous situation. The woman, Sterling, spoke up. A little bit of a question to annoy you. CNN reporter. We have evidence of her. It has a history of stability. We will do it. He will not rest as long as he is in prison. Ensuring the safety of our employees and patients. This hospital is not being renovated. He was kidnapped by a deceitful entity. Stage, huge 8K LED walls, usually reserved to display the names of donors and play videos of doctors smiling, it shook. At first there was only one error, broken static cutting line. From the hospital logo. Sterling he didn't notice. He was too busy. He condemns Harper. Let this be a warning. That we have no patience for him. Violence. ZZRT. A still voice, a powerful voice. An electronic explosion that killed several people. They cover their ears in the first row. The hospital logo is distorted. Digital sound before the screen turns off black. Sterling frowned and looked around. On his shoulder. Technical problems, he complained about a device. He fixed it right away. But the screen remained black. Grainy black color. And the white image trembled. There was a security footage. The timestamp on the corner reads, today. 1,400 hours. The angle was high and it seemed. Down to the terrible place one. The image infallible. Show it to the patient. Flat line. This showed Harper Bennett. Praying with her body language, desperate. But it is controlled. And this is what Dr. Silas has shown. Preston is standing over the patient, isn't he? Help, but space. Then the sound started. It wasn't. A small voice from a safe source. There. Reinforce, clarify. Know your place, trash. The chief surgeon has passed away. Atrium concert quality speakers. This it echoed louder than the marble walls. Press call, louder than the traffic. Outside. The video showed the explosion. Silas Preston showed his fingers. In Harper, she laughed and shook her head. They returned with brutality and arrogant force. There is a shared breathing from the room. Oxygen from the air. Sparks. The beating stopped. It was quiet. Not at all, except for the video that was played. Big screen. Sterling Preston. His face was red. A man who was hit in the stomach. He in response to the technical team, stability crack. Wait for the food. Wait now. Who? Do this. But the video has been altered. The shot has been lowered into the corner. Screen, replaced by motion-based movement, a waterfall of documents. This was not public information. PDFs with confidential seals. Don't. It has been distributed. And a confidentiality agreement has been signed. Medical error report number 402. Patient dead. Causes surgical negligence. Surgeon Silas Preston. Action decision. Payment form 2. 5. Coverage compiled by Sterling Preston. The journalists were out of breath again. It was madness. It exploded. The cameras zoomed in. Screen, holding years of evidence, buried bodies. Incident number 519, accidental amputation of body parts. Accident number 660, fatal overdose. Condition has been removed. Of souls. This is wrong, Sterling shouted. He holds the microphone, he holds the voice. With a loud cry. It's a cyber attack. It's artificial intelligence. He created lies. Security, do it. Room. I want everyone to leave. They're looking for Mr. Preston is true enough for me. The depth of voice touched Sterling's nerves. Heavy-duty sliding glass doors at the main entrance. The entrance stopped turning. The people to part like the Red Sea. Lieutenant General Holloway Gabu. He wasn't wearing blue clothes this time. He was wearing full armor, together with 4 police officers' carbine and 2 Washington Rifles regional bodies. Aura of authority. They predicted it would be harder than it was. He builds himself. And he goes there. Next to the general was Harper Bennett. She hasn't changed. Still. Wear dirty blue to the interview. The sweater she stole the basement. Her face was painted with fat, and she has love. Like a computer hard drive in her hand weapon. Sterling froze. He held his sides. On stage until the fingers twitch white. He was looking for the security team, but the hired mercenaries were nowhere to be found. Appears, may already be connected the basement. You, Sterling whispered. Pointing at Harper with a trembling finger. You did it. The police caught her. Secret property has been stolen. She has been kidnapped. Our systems. The regional police chief, a tall man, the granite jaw, inside at the stage rose. He passed by Harper. Without seeing it at all. Directly to Sterling Preston. Preston, the policeman said in his own voice. You are, without using a microphone. Sterling backed down. Sorry. Me. Do you know who I am? It's me. The chairman of this council. I will eat with him. Governor. You are under arrest, police. Repeat, pull heavy metal. A handcuff ripped from a belt for conspiracy committing fraud, obstructing justice, distortion of evidence and complicity in the case murder. Return. Put your hands behind your back. This is madness, Sterling whistles, the soldier is fighting when he returns. Around. I will sue this part. Birth. I have your license plate number. Harper Bennett is the culprit here. Harper climbed the stage steps. The cameras turned on her, 1,000 lenses that focus on women, the cleaning lady's clothes. She stood a few inches away. Sterling. In the near future, a billionaire. He seemed small. He was terrified. I'm not a criminal, Sterling, Harper said. She said, her voice calm, encouraging. Sterling's microphone was simply, I'm not a ghost either, he shouted. She stopped her hard drive. But ghosts. Your sins are troubling you, she said. All he can do is whisper loudly enough. Listen. Consider yourself as a spirit. The soldier kicked and hit. Sterling shouted from the stage, the elevator doors behind the stage opened. 2 more officers, led by Doctor, appeared. Silas Preston. He didn't scream. He shouted. His hands were tied in handcuffs. Behind him, his white jacket is hanging. Shoulder, until he couldn't take his eyes off the floor. The workers who had been harassing them for years. The atrium fell silent again as Preston it was installed at the back of the waiting room. Police cars, shiny blue. Lights reflecting off the glass walls. Then a voice broke the silence. Applause. It was slow, deliberate. Harper returned. On the mezzanine balcony. Pertaining to the commander-in-chief Knox was sitting in a wheelchair and being pushed by a wheelchair. Military doctor. He was pale, connected to a mobile device. They started getting oxygen, but his hands were getting numb. Together. Clap your hands, clap your hands. Then David, the head nurse, entered. From the group of workers. He applauded. Then Kinsley wiped away her tears. Eyes. Then Chloe, then surgeons. He was too afraid to speak. The noise increased. With a shout. The journalists, patients, cleaning staff, doctors, everyone applauded. It wasn't A round of applause. It was a great shout. Applause, release of tension. It has been plaguing the hospital for years. They weren't clapping for a celebrity. She gave it to the woman. A greased loaf of bread placed inside. He refused to light the fire. Harper. He stood there with him in shock. She thanked him. She shifted her weight and looked around. To get out. General Holloway took a step forward. By her side, a rare smile that broke her heart. Major, you know. That was it, Holloway said, leaning forward. Scary. I think I can. Being overly competent at changing washes. Harper looked at the hard drive and he gave it to the waiting federal agent. Shut up. It had to be done, sir. The Pentagon has a new initiative. Holloway. He continued looking at the people. Rapid response teams for high-risk workers. We need someone who can. Scalpel and crisis at the same level. A person who doesn't close his eyes. I can do it. Your commission will be returned in the morning. With all due respect, let's go back to the 160th century. Harper looked at the general. Then she looked at the balcony that Knox had given her. Thumbs up. She looked at the nurses. David Kinsley, the team that fought because they smiled at him, like strange, but like himself. Because for the first time since she left. Service, the noise in Harper's head, the mortars, the screams, the destruction. Style. General, I appreciate the offer. Harper said softly. But I think it's mine. The mission is here. Holloway eyebrows. Here, I'll clean the floors. No, Harper said as he looked at the new ambulance, retreating to the outer bay, the lights in bright red. Save a life. Also, she pointed to the emergency doors. A gurney followed. A person followed. To confirm that he is the new chief surgeon. There is no complexity to God. Holloway. He laughed out loud. Really? Enough. Take it, Major. Harper shook his head. Turn away from the cameras, turn away. About praise and approached me. The emergency room has double doors. She did not walk with her head down. Not anymore. She didn't hide the shrimp. A mark on her arm or wing, a tattoo on his wrist. She pushed him forward. Let the doors, and the media, run the circus. I went back into chaos. Then an emergency. Antibacterial odor and bloodstains. And for the first time in a long time there was no smell of war. It smells like work. David, she said, picking up the phone and calling him. A new pair of gloves out of the box. Wall. Throat 4 physiological points and sewing kit. Let's move. Harper Bennett. He is back in the office. Harper's story. Bennett reminds us of that true power. It's not about status or how much money. What you have in the bank. It's about what you want. It does so when the pressure is high and when there is it's online. Dr. Preston thought his status pleased him. Intangible. But learned it the hard way. Never judge a book by its own standards. The cover, especially if it's a book. A veteran with battlefield experience, more in one day than he had done in his life. Harper didn't just save one patient. He saved the life of the hospital. He tried. That person is waiting for what is coming. It could be a legal field. Corruption. Did you like this story? If yes, please rate it. Button. It really helps the channel grow. And to register and press the notification bell so you don't miss anything. I miss a new story. What would you do if you were inside? Does Harper see the shoes? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for following us. We'll see you inside. Other.